I gave everybody an assignment, a little project to create of our own in inspiration of Vision 2030 for Saudi. In which case, whichever one you guys want to start first, I'll kind of go over the little guideline here. So let me go ahead and pull it up. The guideline I gave them it's not too. I don't think it was too strict or anything, right?
No.
So there's more that goes into Saudi Arabia than the buildings that you've seen. Saudi 2030 is like, it includes power plants, everything. Like, it's so in depth. But if you want to look at it, just look it up on your own. Just look up Vision, like Saudi Vision 2030. You'll find it easily.
Yeah.
So they could choose to create either a energy-based plant, but not like a plant you go out the ground. I hope you know what I mean by that. You can choose to create a city, a community, town, island, harbor, ship, or redesign something already existing. Now, the 4 guidelines you had to follow was you must have at least one renewable energy. You have to list at least one main source of revenue, as well as listing a primary function and at least one futuristic feature. Now, optional, you can tell us about the destination, ideally where you want it and like how the structure may look. So, which one y'all want to start first?
I'll start. Let's do it.
Let's go.
The island that I'm doing, I call it the Forever Dream.
Ooh.
Right? It's a party island, okay? Has discos in it.
Uh-huh.
All right, and what I mean by that is it's filled with LED light lasers. So it looks great from afar, but when you get up close to it, it's like a dreamland.
Okay.
So the kind of energy that I'm going to have, I'm a gambling man, so I'm gonna go with a power plant. You know, it can blow up on me. That's okay. So,
are you talking fusion energy like we were discussing the other week, or are you talking nuclear?
if they came out, you know, more with the fusion energy, then of course the fusion. But we're doing nuclear for now, so that means if man messes up, bye land. That's fallout. All right.
Bye land.
So the primary function is to look attractive from afar. So, you know, you go on a boat, you circle it, it looks really nice. It's LED lasers just pew, 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 pew. You know, just all around. So, you come in a boat, you leave on a water hovered ship. That's a futuristic, so it's basically just a ship on water.
Okay.
Isn't a ship already on water?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like, okay.
It's futuristic.
Okay.
So, you come here for a good time, looking at all the LED laser lights. Fun fact, if you stare at the sun for 5 minutes, there are so many benefits in there.
True. I agree.
Yeah, I did it as a child all the time, man. Staring competitions and everything.
So, the reason into this,
Yeah.
I was inspired by this really great man. He's called Mr. Monopoly.
Oh, I got so scared.
He has this
I got so scared.
He has this
I got so
mustache.
scared.
The hat goes with it. You know,
I thought this was the end of Mo.
he was an inspiration to me. All right. And the reason I'm going to put this island next to the U.S. so it's a knockoff of the U.S.
Okay.
That's my
So
reason
you're its own thing. You're not owned by the U.S.
No.
Where's it at?
Next to the U.S.
I know, but like where? You in the Gulf of
I didn't go that far.
You in Pacific? You Atlantic? Where you
I want to
at?
go Pacific.
All right.
Next to North Korea.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, okay. All right.
You just set up ship right outside North Korea.
There you go.
This is the life you could be living if you didn't live in North Korea.
That is so messed up.
All right.
Oh my god. Okay. I guess I'll go. So I decided to make a city. My city's name is Tempest. If you don't know what Tempest means, I hope you do. It means like a wild windstorm, stormy wind. You know what I mean. Anyways, so Tempest, we're going real ambitious here, real futuristic, is a floating city between North America and Europe in the North Atlantic Ocean, right? So by using fusion energy, which will, like I said, we're looking more futuristic with it. So by using the fusion energy, you know, it's going to be our main source of energy for the power and everything. Tempest also uses, the reason why it's able to float is going to use a modified version of atmospheric breathing electric propulsion. Otherwise,
Explain.
Lost me, bro.
I'm going to explain it. Hold on. Otherwise known as air breathing electric propulsion. In other words, it's the stuff like when spacecrafts and stuff, they use it to orbit Earth and everything like that. It's it's not necessarily fuel based. It uses things around the atmosphere and everything like that to fuel it. If I explain it the best
basically.
way. Yeah. So that's why I have to modify a bit to work with Earth atmosphere. You know what I mean? So, what was I? So it can keep the city based off that. It keeps the city suspended for a month before it has to relocate to one of its 4 harbors to regain power and everything like that. Sufficient things that it needs. All the systems can cool down and relax a little bit, breathe. You know. So, what was I? Tempest is also, just in case, is equipped with ocean filtered water tanks for water propulsion and emergency propellers to lower the city safely into the water in case of emergencies. If that was to ever happen, all 4 harbors are equipped with something I decided, I don't know how to pronounce this. Oh God, Arcis or Arcus, whatever the two system, which a water propulsion based ships to guide the city back to one of the harbors in order for it to have maintenance or whatever happened, so it can be able to maintain afloat again, right? That's a little information about the city. Now, the main function of the city is just to create a place for innovation, right? So, it's a place for the best and most inspiring minds to meet, to create things, as well as it being a symbol of the future and possibilities owned by no government. So the way it's placed, just a little bit more detail where it's placed, is towards kind of where Canada, a little bit under Greenland. So it's like kind of in the middle of all that, right?
Above the water.
Above the water. Floating above the water. Not above any land or anything, floating above the water. Tempest consists of many homes where both modern and futuristic meet. Apartments look like waves with yacht-inspired hotels for the guests, jam-packed with entertainment, stages, concerts, inside stadiums for sports. So if you ever decided the Super Bowl in a floating city, that'd be kind of hard.
True.
What was I? For sports, community-based events, races, and competitions. And then here in the Eye of the Storm, which is also the other name for the center of the city, we call it the Eye of the Storm because Tempest, or Eye for short. There would be where all your entertainment things are based, and it will also hold the biggest annual innovation event in the world. That's where everybody comes to show off new things, some really crazy, outlandish, like projects that you're starting on, like the line.
Yep.
Now, what was I? So Tempest itself, no cars at all. Want to encourage more of a healthy lifestyle while improving quality of life things. So retail, grocery stores, and are conveniently placed in walking distance, while rental bike stations are placed about half a mile between each station. So while every store, retail, grocery store, whatever, is within walking distance, for the average residents or guest, is going to be about a mile walk. If you want a bike, it could be a lot easier. But no cars. Get out there. And if you want to go to the Eye of the Storm, which is where all the entertainment stuff is held in the center of the city, then there's a train station willing to take, it's like a bullet train more type station that will take you to the Eye of the Storm. Or if you want to go to the other side of the city, it can take you there too. Just different stops, throughout the city. Now, another thing I had to take into consideration, hurricanes, So, using state-of-the-art weather tracking, the hovering city will always move if it needs to. It will station itself at a certain harbor to avoid any hurricanes or issues with it. In which case, the 4 harbors for it is going to be, how do you pronounce this? Grunavik, I think it is, which is Iceland. Reason why I did that as a harbor is 10 minutes away from Blue Lagoon, which is one of the biggest well-known hot springs. Yep. So again, promoting people to go out, experience the world. So you're not trapped here. Go experience things, right? Which is the idea for all the harbors places. And plus, it allows them to get to the ship if it ever needs to hit water, so they can move it quick. It's not like traveling crazy distances. It's fairly close by. The second harbor is going to be in New Hampshire, which is 4 hours, 30 minutes roughly away from New York, and 9 hours, like 13 minutes away from Toronto. Then you have France, which of course, everything with that, then UK as well, which are the 4 harbors. Again, pulling people to go experience different areas of it. If you want to hop on the ship and just stay at the hotel for a while, each harbor is on a rotation. So if you live in like Iceland or whatever, feel free to come over, hop on the ship for like a month or whatever, or just go on a year travel route until you get back to Iceland. That's the main function of it. Main source of revenue and everything is the entertainment.
Yep.
That's my city, Tempest.
I envision it as the Avengers, the battle carrier, the Avengers carrier.
On crack.
That's how I envision it in my head. I think it's just the battle carrier.
Well, the best way I can explain it, of course, this big giant city, you kind of like, it looks like a mountain at the bottom of it, kind of.
Yep.
And then you're on top, of course, the flat city and everything like that. But again, this is all very futuristic because of the fusion-based energy. That's the only thing that's keeping this whole thing together, basically.
Yeah.
So that's my
I think that's pretty fire.
project.
Okay, so I didn't have a project, but I did have a thought that piqued my interest, and I think it would be interesting conversation. We live in a world. Mm-hmm. You live your everyday life being told your phone is bad. Your phone is bad. You shouldn't be on your phone that much. You need to get off your phone, that sort of thing. But everywhere you go, it is impossible to live without your phone. You need your phone to scan menus at restaurants. You need your phone to check into the gym. There is no way to live anymore without your phone, even though everyone is telling you to get off your phone.
Right.
So you need it on you. So it's basically a catch-22. So my thought is, let's say we take maybe a sample size, right?
Okay.
Let's go with the Centennial Hills area in Vegas, right? You know, the northwest area that we're in right now, right? Good amount of people living in it, but it's not massive. It's like a suburb. You take that area, lock it down. You take all phones away. You have everything that you need. How would life change? Do you think people would be happier without it? You have to go to restaurants. You have to actually walk to your friend's house to talk to them. You actually talk to people at restaurants. You actually talk to people. You take public transport, that sort of thing.
I think it would be more of a happy place.
Because that's what I was thinking, right? Like, I was envisioning a city where, like, you know, there's maybe you take Centennial Hills and throw it in the middle of the desert where there's nothing around you. That way there's no walls locking you in necessarily, but you don't have any contact really outside.
Right.
And you just take away all phones. There's still, like, you could watch the news, that sort of thing. You just don't have it on you. I think that alone would spark innovation. People would be happier. People would be more productive just by taking away the phone. You would not even need to add any more technology.
Let me ask you a question, though. I don't know if this is more of a question. So the only thing that I can think of that'll make people generally okay with it at first is if they don't know anything about phones in general. Because just taking it from them in general, like, okay, here you are now, take everything away from you. My first thing is, there's going to be a lot of issues. A lot of people going crazy first. But then eventually, I think after people settle down, eventually, because people are insane, then I think that's when that'll start kicking in. So
maybe do 3 experiments.
Okay.
You do 1, you take a bunch of people that are addicted to their phone.
Yeah.
Like, you find out that they're addicted to their phone.
Yeah.
And you throw them all in this city, see how it happens. Second city, you have the same amount of people, but these people want to get rid of their phones. Say, like, us 3 would be in city 2.
Yep.
Like, we want to get rid of our phones. We don't really want it, and we understand the danger in it.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
City 1 that has everyone that is addicted, most of them know the phone's bad, but they still have an addiction to it, right? I think most people understand the phone is very bad. So they have an addiction. City 2 is people like us that want to get rid of their phone. We'd be happier without it. City 3, we just inject like some memory wipe and they have no idea what a phone is.
Men Black.
Exactly, some Men in Black thing. So that City 3, Because the first two cities, you have two different people that knew phones existed. City 3 doesn't even have the concept of a phone. You do all 3 experiments, see what happens.
So, you're saying with number 3, we're gonna be heading back into the past, like 1950s.
Pretty much, I'd say, kind of.
Then let's go back.
I mean, because
True.
No.
True. You didn't make dinner.
Where's my ring?
Yo, we had the exact same thought. That's so bad.
that's not what I'm thinking. I ain't gonna lie. I don't think I can be around for that one. I don't think I can be
My ring
around.
finger.
I'm good.
Now, we're going to be in 1950s. That city's going to get segregated. You're going to be 2 sides of that city.
It's gonna get bad. I think it's gonna be. I mean, look what happened with the Renaissance. They didn't have like phones and stuff. Yet they innovation. Well, you know what I mean.
Innovation's at its highest point right now.
Yeah, but like
They were creating art and that sort.
yeah. So I think people will find different ways to either communicate and express themselves that we never even thought of, with the technology we have today.
Also, part of my experiment, if you try to make something like a phone, you get popped. You just get popped on sight. I mean, I don't see a way around that because, like, if City 3 is addicted to their phone, someone's going to try to make one, and they just get popped.
Say that.
I mean, it's okay. Here's what I think will happen, right?
Yeah.
Alice in Borderland. I swear, if you've seen that, that's exactly what I'm thinking, bro.
Here's what I think will happen. City 3, they'll have a hard time, but they'll end up within a first couple weeks getting over it, right?
Yeah.
City 2, I think is going to be the happiest, maybe the most innovative, right? I think City 3, I go back on my popping point. City 3 is the only thing that if you make a phone, you don't get popped.
I thought it was City 1 that they are addicted.
City 1 is addicted. City 3 is they don't know what a phone is. City
3 first, that's why.
Oh, okay, my bad. City 1, you get popped if you try to make a phone because you're addicted to it. You'll be happier without it.
Okay,
That's
there we
crazy.
go.
There we go. 2, like I said, it's
Happiest,
more of
more
you'll be
interactive.
happy, innovative. City 3, the people that don't know what a phone is, they don't get popped if they try to make one because I think they'll end up trying to make one. I think the phone was a natural part. Y'all playing footsies over there? What the fuck? I think City 3 was building the phone is the natural step.
Yeah.
So if you basically put them back, they'll make a phone.
Yeah. Well, will they make a phone? Will they make something kind of like? I don't
It'd be
know,
like
similar,
the telephone back in the 1930s where it,
Well, no, I think that's a discussion from an experiment I didn't get to. Do they even have phones?
Fucking Morse code.
I think, yeah, true.
Actually.
I think they do have phones. They do have phones, just not touchscreen phones. And they're like landlines. You can't take them anywhere.
Okay.
That's what I'm thinking of. Basically, what I'm trying to get rid of in my experiment in my society is a portable electronic
Like the modern
device.
telephone.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
Some modern, device that you bring around and you're addicted to. I don't think there's an issue with just calling someone on the phone and saying, "Yo, I'm gonna be over at your house." I don't think there's a problem with communication. But yeah, that was my
other
project.
issues if you don't have any form of communication.
Yeah.
It's hard to like, okay, let's link up over here. If you don't really know when, like, you don't have that form of communication.
Yeah,
You gotta
basically,
get lucky.
basically what I'm just trying to get at is like not having a device that you're constantly looking at.
Yeah.
There's still communication. There's still news. There's still TVs. But you're not bringing it anywhere. You still have to go out of your house and actually act human.
Yeah.
Rather than now, if you go to a restaurant, you go look at the kids that are all 16 out of high school, like they're in high school. They went there after school or something. They're all on their phone showing each other memes and stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, Jesus Christ.
or
what the...
texting or
Yeah,
something.
they're texting their girl or something. It's like, bro, come
They're
on.
not really interacting
Exactly.
with the person.
So
right
that
in
was
front
my
of them.
project. My project was actually, instead of futuristic, bringing us back
Okay.
and seeing how society would improve.
Okay.
I think it would improve dramatically.
Cars or no cars?
Same exact society.
Same thing.
Same exact society. There's nothing.
Okay.
It wasn't like no emissions.
I'm about to say, 'cause I would be down for having a horse, riding a horse down the
Oh,
street. You
true.
know? That would be kind of gas.